Hello everyone, welcome to the Internet, Social Media and Apps Conference at Georgia State. This part of the session is about people starting businesses in the arts, but also in the entertainment industry, but also the ways that they're starting to use social media to get their word out and so forth. So I've asked 4 people to come on. There might be one more person coming in the door, but to actually talk with us. We're actually live on web, am I right?
You are. You have Mada Thomas online. Everybody say hi to Mada.
Okay, right there's a camera, a couple cameras, and also we have Matt in the back who's doing this for Celos. Hello, Matt. Right there. So let's get this started. This is just an informal conversation with 4 people that are starting their businesses, and just talking about the area of their business, but also different ways they can learn from each other. This is more a conversation between you 4 about how you guys are using this, and this is very open-ended. They're like, what are we gonna talk about? I said, don't worry, show up. You guys are artists, you can figure it out. So what you guys are gonna do is just say who you are, what kind of business entrepreneurship piece that you started, and really just how you started it off. So, anyone wanna go first?
Well, I'll start since I'm all the way on the end. My name is Duran Bailey. I am the Director of Marketing and Operations for the Atlanta Music Project. And honestly, I didn't start it. It's been in operation for about 9 years. I've been a part of the team for about 2.5 years. So it's a small nonprofit. So in many ways, we are entrepreneurs because we all wear different hats. We all do a lot of different things. But it's really fulfilling work. And it's almost like it's not work. It's like just going and showing up every day and doing stuff that you like to do and getting a message out to the public, to just inform the public and let them know about who we are and what we do.
Hey guys, I'm Ashley Nicole Daramola. I'm a visual artist and I own Artsy Bella Studio and Shop. I provide commission art services to residential homeowners, commercial developers in the form of murals, portrait art, handmade crafts, and I also offer services in teaching art. I do sip and paint parties, art classes, and I have a strong mental health background, so I also do art therapy sessions as well in the studio. And I got started, I actually went into an entirely different career. I am a Georgia State alumni. I was an art major when I was here, and then somehow, people are just like, you can't make money in art. So I went into social work, and then I quit my job September 2016 and decided I didn't want to waste my talent anymore. So here we are.
Hello everybody, my name is Derek Jackson. I'm actually, first things first, I'm the founder and CEO of the Collegiate Entertainers Group, which is a nonprofit organization that actually started right here. I'm currently a student here at Georgia State University, and myself and a group of other students here started a nonprofit organization meant to teach other students how to enter into music from the entrepreneurial standpoint. We actually organize and run a student organization here on campus called Panther Entertainment Group, and we've been fortunate enough to have had our program picked up by the Creative Media Industries Institute, which is right next door. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've pretty much only ever had 2 jobs, and both of those jobs, one of them was taxes, so I would know how to do business, right? So I've been working for myself since I was 15, so just, glad to be here.
My name is Teray Anwar. I'm the owner and business development manager of United Artists Movement. We are a consulting firm for creative spaces. Basically, we go in different art galleries or artists themselves, visual artists, vocal artists, supporting studios. We go in and we set patterns, networks, and systems together for them. We also introduce our network. That's something that I do well. I think the biggest thing is along each entrepreneur that's up here, we do something specific very well, and mine is networking. As a manager, when I bring in other artists, my main role is to introduce my network to their network and broaden the the streams a little bit for income, revenue, those type of things. But really, we bring people together across lines. Art is art, you know. So it's black, it's white, it's old, it's young. We really stretch the limits of what we can do. And spaces. I'm crazy. I will literally do an event on the top of a roof. I don't care, without licenses, without any of it. But don't do that. You know, don't. But it's worth it. And I think that's what we'll get a little bit into through the social media aspect, that dopamine effect.
So happy you guys are here. I don't know if you guys have things to say, but I don't know. It just feels really good to be here, like hearing what you guys are doing. Because at first I was like, but I don't know. It just feels like I'm supposed to be here. And I actually just heard about PEG the other day on some universal line type stuff from Ms. Morgan. She was like, you should check it out. And I was like, I don't know what that is. But now here you are. Like, you can tell me all about it. And as far as everything else goes, I'm just so glad that you guys are doing what feels good to you. And I'm excited to hear more about what's going on in your world. So,
So I guess they wanted us to have an open discussion about that. So how exactly does that work? Would we prefer to do this on a question basis? Like maybe audience questions and then we discuss that? Does that feel comfortable with you all? Sure. Okay. So first question, who has a burning question?
okay, so first question is, what does the Atlanta Music Project do?
Well, our mission is to empower youth, underserved youth, and so that they can realize their possibilities through music. And basically what that means is, we provide instruments tuition free for any young person, really first grade to 12th grade, to come and be a part of the Atlanta Music Project. No audition required. You just come willing to be a part of the program, and we'll provide the instrument. We'll make sure you have a phenomenal teacher that can show you and instruct you and show you how to play. Because we feel like an instrument is, a lot of times it's a lot like life. It's real honest. And if I sat here and tried to play guitar right now, you would know that I'm not a guitarist. So it's all about what you invest and what you put into it. And we have probably 50 concerts a year so that the students get an opportunity to feel the applause and to see their peers and see their parents, their family come and see them actually do something. So while doing that, I think the lesson that they get from it is that you can achieve anything if you put a little effort into it. And the music is an instrument that we use to do it. So it's all about social change. We work primarily right in Southwest Atlanta. Our headquarters is opening next month, May the 22nd, for the first time. So we're really excited about that. And it's all about really empowering youth, underserved youth in particular, that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to go out and buy their own instrument. So we have orchestra and choir, about 350 kids, and so every day is like just an amazing journey in the lives of these young people learning how to play instruments.
Since this is coinciding with social media, what are you all social media following? And then I'm going to have a follow-up question for that. Mind you, I know followers are not everything, but in this day and age, when you have a company, like, the mindset of a lot of, like Generation Z and things of that sort, they look at like the number of followers. So what would you say are you all's personal or more so business follow?
Combined, because you should have your personal and your business, a lot of your branch be separate.
Not to mention the influencers that also may work with you to actually help spread whatever message it is that you may be trying to get out. Like, not to necessarily cut you off, but there are a lot of people now who their entire business model is to become influential to the point where if they have something to say, there's people there to listen. And typically what businesses do, and some businesses do it very well, is they'll actually partner with those people. So it's like, okay, well, I don't have to be, spending all of my time trying to figure out the algorithms and, get my following numbers up. I can focus on my business and then utilize those individuals as my marketing apparatus to actually get the word out. So I mean, if we're talking about networks like this gentleman here was saying before, sometimes that follower count on a personal page may not equate to what it is for your business network.
Right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So I guess my next question would be, are you talking from a business network perspective?
Right, from the business network. I know some brands coincide like their personal and their business together because it works for them, but everybody's different. So like, would you say that social media wise you all are happy with your following, or you all are like working to get it toward, the goals in which you guys want to equate your traffic?
You should always be streamlining it. I mean, happy is settling. My social media, personal, business, or anything else, or any of the social media accounts that we manage, is about engagement. It's about shaking hands with people that you can't really reach. Instantly, your company can become international if you have a client that's out of the United States, but you have to support that relationship. If I have an artist in South Africa that I want to bring over to do a show, I can't just be scrolling through and be like, yo, you're dope, you want to come through? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work that way. You have to create that relationship. So for us, for our business, it really, the engagement, the opportunity. Yeah, I'm speaking specifically Instagram right now. Facebook's a little bit different. Every social media platform, I think, is different.
Right.
But Instagram, where it started out as a photographer's haven, that's what it was. Facebook itself, Facebook was an intranet for colleges to communicate with their professors, and it developed into something else. Twitter, the same thing. But when we get down to the basics of what Instagram is for us, it's really engagement. Really.
Especially like for your business model, because like you said, you probably was revenue model, I guess not revenue model, but hindsight on dot connecting, networking, but what would you say are like some apps that you utilize to ease up the pressure of engagement? Because like you said, you can't tell everybody,
Hootsuite, those type of things. Anything that can, Hootsuite, TweetDeck, those type of things that can, and I don't want to dominate the panel, it's 4 of us up here, but for me specifically, those allow me, because I'm an information geek, I cannot make any decision without data, right? So it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if I just have a guy that's on a guitar down at E-Brick. I need to know when you guys are there at the most amount of time, because what's the use of me sending one of my artists down when it's empty, or the store's closed, or you know what I mean, something's going on, maybe the city has a movie going on at the time, so it's blocked off, so for information, Hootsuite, TweetDeck, those have saved my life, so to speak, because of the hashtags and understanding. We use the word algorithm, but it's a mathematical term. The reason for it is they're watching the numbers, and so those two, myself.
So I think I have a little over maybe 12,000 followers across both my personal and my business. My company is young, and I also resisted social media for a long time. I'm from a different era where we didn't grow up, having so much access to the internet and being able to communicate with people digitally. You had to go and meet people and have conversation and be physically present. And so I resisted a lot, and I also found that resistance hurts my pockets. So I've been working with PR people and marketing people to just learn the best ways to use social media. And for my brand, because my target audience are people who love art, enthusiasts, people who craft at home. I have to build a tribe, and it's very intimate. And so, I know they have the automated tools where you can buy followers and you can kind of pay for someone to do the engagement for you. but I feel like I'm gonna learn it better if I do it myself and kind of that trial and error and experiment and seeing what works, what people respond to the most, what do I post that they like and they don't, and I'm kind of self-teaching myself through how I'm engaging with the followers I have on what they want to see and how they want it delivered. So I'm still young with my numbers, but it's growing.
My question for you would be, would you say that your audience is pretty, like, very well invested? Because you do have a minor market, and I feel as though there's an advantage to having minor markets too, because regardless if you don't have 20,000 or 100,000 followers, you know that, like you just stated, your target audience is like art enthusiasts. They're really invested in their craft. So would you state that, like, between the hashtags and the things that you use to equate that algorithm, they're really engaged?
Oh, yes, and I think a lot of their engagement is a result of me wanting to kind of deliver what they're telling me they want, you know? And then the other thing that I'm doing is when I'm providing services, when I meet with clients, part of my just my sales cycle is getting them to my social media so that once I'm done working with them, we still have a way to stay in contact and engage with each other.
They have like a checklist.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? How important are hashtags to you? I mean, I don't, not
Yeah.
level of, like revenue, but how important is it for, that thing you're driving, that brand, that campaign?
It's interesting you asked me that because I do know that they work. I don't know why they work, but I know that the more unique my hashtags are, and the more of them I put, the more engagement I see on those posts. But I don't really know the science behind why it works and how. But I do, I hashtag a lot. Every post I have at least 10 to 15 hashtags. But I do spend time to make sure they're unique. I don't use the same hashtags on each post. I make them unique to whatever that image or that discussion is about.
I'll comment on that. For us, hashtags are amazing. And I say that because we'll get views, let's say for Instagram. I don't really use them a lot on Facebook, but I use them definitely on Instagram, and you'll get attention from people that have otherwise never heard of anything about your organization or what you're doing, your brand. And we get a lot of international traffic just from hashtags. And you're absolutely right. You want to be specific to the post, but I use a lot of the same hashtags and whatever I post, like hashtag music, because someone might not be looking, they're definitely not looking for the Atlanta Music Project, but if they click on the hashtag music and happen to see what we're doing, then they may just become a follower. So I use them a lot. I use general hashtags, very specific hashtags. I don't know it down to a science. I don't know it like what makes a better engagement. We haven't figured that out. We're still working on trying to figure it out. But they're amazing at drawing attention, and you'll be surprised at what gets somebody's attention. What hashtag means something to an individual.
And with the hashtags you use, do you always put like hashtag Atlanta Music Project along with like the other mixtures?
No, I don't. I usually don't put hashtag Atlanta Music Project. I'll do hashtag Atlanta, hashtag music, hashtag like if it's our string players. We may have an ensemble of violin, viola, cello. I'll hashtag cello, violin, bass, things like that that other bassists in the world may just follow just because of the hashtag and happen to see us. So I'll use it like that, but hopefully y'all can piggyback on that and teach me more about that.
I am a little familiar with how.
Hold on. I'm not sure if you guys know. I want you to look back. Hey! We had somebody calling from San Francisco. I want to get him in the conversation real quick before we go right in. Brother Bada, how are you? How are you? Okay. Hold on, we're going to get you. We're almost here.
Turn your mic on.
Turn the mic on.
Oh, wait. We turn the TV back down. Sorry, Netta, hold on. We turn the TV back down.
But I'll tell you quickly, I met this young man maybe a year and a half ago when he put together what a lot of young people in Atlanta called the Black Millennial Summit. Anyone heard about that? Yeah. I went and I was on the floor about how much wonderful energy young people had in this town. And it was interesting, I was the OG in the room as a Generation X kind of person guy. So I got to meet with him, meet with his team and so forth. And when I was putting this together, and this was right before launch opened up. So all that kind of energy, what I saw him do and bring people together, you know, really reminds me of the stuff that we're going to do at launch. So I want to thank you. From where you at, San Francisco?
Yeah. I'm here in the Bay Area.
Bay Area. So we're going to welcome you in the conversation. We're going to give you a full kind of like 8 minutes to kind of go through your stuff and then get you involved in the conversation, okay? Is that good? So,
Okay, cool, awesome. So how's it going, everyone? My name is Mark Thomas. I was a student at Morehouse. I actually dropped out to start my first business. It was called Young Black and Educated. It was a network of Black interns and Black full-time employees in about 6 different cities across America. From Young Black and Educated, I then transitioned into becoming a partner at Trade House Investment Group. For anyone that's familiar with foreign exchange or day trading, I'm a professional trader, and I got into day trading because when I had dropped out of school and took the entrepreneurial path, I needed early stages of capital, right? That's something that everyone really struggles with, and I'm sure if anyone here wants to start a business, you're probably looking at loans, grants, early stages of funding, anything like that. So the perspective that I had was, because I had my own startup, I wanted to get into trading so I could use the capital I made from trading to then invest into my startup. But then that kind of opened me up to a lot of different entrepreneurial opportunities, and now I'm actually operating as one of the first interns at Y Combinator here in San Francisco. And for those not familiar with Y Combinator is an accelerator where they invest in early stage startups and essentially build out the companies until they're ready to go and do their Series A, Series B, Series C rounds. Some of the big companies that Y Combinator has been responsible for putting out are companies such as Airbnb, Dropbox, Reddit, Stripe, and more. So that's my bio. Am I supposed to go into anything else? Or should I just answer questions? I'm not 100% sure, but yeah.
Yeah, just talk about just how you, about the conference and how you put that together, the first millennial conference.
Oh, yeah, okay, definitely. So I started Young Black and Educated in 2016, and by 2017, we had worked with a lot of different partners. I had worked with Twitter at the time before that, and then I was approached by someone named Amina Yunusa, who is the CEO of a startup called Block, which is an artificial intelligence career coaching agency for Black millennials. And together we came and we started the Black Millennial Summit. So we essentially rented out Tech Square Labs over by Georgia Tech, and we put out this like guerrilla marketing campaign to get people involved. We ended up having 500 millennials come to the conference. It was an absolute success. We partnered with Turner, Jockwell, MailChimp, and our keynote speaker was Stacey Abrams. So it was very special. It was a great conference. A lot of people came out. I had opportunity of meeting George, and he's been able to put me on his panel, and I feel super honored to be here. So yeah, pretty awesome.
Any questions for the brother out there in the Cali world? Anybody have any questions?
How long have you been in California?
So I can hear you say it just a little louder.
Someone can repeat it.
How long have you been in California?
I just moved out to California about a month ago, actually. I was living in Jersey. So as a matter of fact, let me just take you guys through the whole progression real quick. So essentially, I was living in Atlanta for about 6 years. I dropped out of college in 2016. I was living there until about 2018, 2019. And in order to sustain my life, I was actually driving for Uber. So I was driving for Uber in Atlanta, and then in July of 18, I got in a car accident, so I ended up going back to Jersey, spending time with my family, and essentially just getting like my feet straight while I was, working on all my entrepreneurial ventures and whatnot. And I had the opportunity to come out to San Francisco to participate in Demo Day, which is like the Super Bowl for all tech investment events. That's the last event that Y Combinator has for the companies. And I essentially came out here on a one-way ticket, and I've been out here for about a month now. And it's going well so far. I'm just trying to secure the bag. That's what everyone's trying to do, so we're all in the same place.
So are you in Silicon Valley? Because I know they say you were in San Francisco, and you also mentioned like your work with tech.
Someone got repeated.
Are you in Silicon Valley? Are you in Silicon Valley?
Yeah, well, okay, so the way that, so Silicon Valley is kind of like this made-up area. Silicon Valley is technically South Bay, which is more like a Mountain View, Palo Alto area, but I'm in the Bay Area, so I pretty much just call it Silicon Valley wherever I'm at. But technically, right now I'm actually in Oakland, which is like right across the bridge from San Francisco, so yeah, I'm here right now.
Audience, any question members for your fellow panelists? Any for Mata, particularly?
Yes.
Any questions? You guys have any questions for him?
Not yet.
Sorry, one more time. I
You guys have anything I said?
No, he was asking if anyone else had any questions.
Okay, sure.
So next, go ahead. Do you remember what you were about to say?
Oh, I do. Mata, just to update you, we were answering the question about social media, specifically regarding hashtags and I guess the algorithm in specific. From my perspective, for those of you who like use social media and things of that nature, they update the algorithm fairly often, but I try to do my research in order to keep up with it. Last I checked, you get 30 hashtags that Instagram actually recognizes before it cuts you off. Those hashtags do not have to be on the post that you actually post. They can actually be in the comment section, right? Now, traditionally, if you're putting together a set of hashtags, the more specific to the post they are, the better. That is true. However, most of the time when you're automating stuff and doing stuff further in advance, sometimes it's just, not that convenient. So people do have a set of maybe 10 to 20 that are pre-planned based off just the category of the work that you do. In addition to that, from the research that I've done as well as doing it myself, if you can get to a point where you can establish your own hashtag so that your client base or fans actually have something to post with regards to you, it's almost like creating your own personal review board on social media. If people are looking up your hashtag, they can look up hashtag name of your company and they'll see everything about that, as long as that hashtag that you chose for yourself is unique enough, right? So for my company, I actually chose National CEG as our official hashtag. If you go to that hashtag, you're not going to see anything else but us. And there's also, sometimes you want to take over hashtags that maybe people aren't using, but aren't using enough. So I have two. I have National CEG and also have hashtag Find Your Stage. And those are the two hashtags that I'm constantly posting on. Whenever I'm talking to people who I'm in brand partnerships with, use this particular hashtag. Don't just tag us, we use our hashtag so that people know how to talk about us in conversation. That is pretty much the extent of my knowledge about the algorithm or hashtag use. I'm not a professional.
No, that was insightful. I think that's
Look, I was taking
that's a
some
good way.
mental notes.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to use it. I use, to piggyback on that, I use one of the hashtags that I use for the most part on every post is heart required. Hashtag heart required. And it just, to me, it has to be something that's relevant to your message. And really, that's the thing, is what is your message? What are you trying to convey? And you have to think about that. You might even have a think tank, come up with different things that you want to represent. And for us, for the young people that we work with, it takes a lot of commitment. And we say that up front. We don't charge you anything. It's tuition free. We give you an instrument. The only thing we require is your time. You got to be committed. You got to come in and show up every day. And if you don't show up, it better be a really good excuse. So it's commitment, and that's why we've chosen heart required as one being a hashtag. I mean, you can look up heart required, hashtag heart required. You probably won't see too much of anything else but Atlanta Music Project stuff. Heart required. So that, I agree with you totally.
And to piggyback off of all of them is to say, like, don't outthink yourself. Like, remember your marketing. That's what people use the hashtags for different reasons, whether they're directions or doorways to get you access into a larger place. But you know, we're not like writing hashtags to myself. Like, what am I looking for? What's Teray looking for on Instagram? It's different than what you might be looking for. But I want my business and my services to be that. So that, for me, that's what's out there. What we do is our hashtag, because there's more people looking for our services for us than like a picture that we posted. You know what I mean? So for each person, it's different. But understanding what your market is and what you're looking for, removing yourself from it, and you know, advertising a little bit. That's worked for us in the past as well.
This topic of social media, I've done. So just a little background about my company and how all of that works is that the primary function of what I do is actually to get like real-time data about how all of this stuff works from you all. My company specializes in being able to create a chain of storytelling and like media entrepreneurship back to college campuses, because at the end of the day, the next generation of storytellers, if all of us want to be in the business of presenting those people or helping those people get to the next step, for me that means, well, we need to direct pipeline to you all. So in that research, we found that the social media apparatus is, first off, which platform you use should be based off of what it is that you're actually doing. That's the first thing. Instagram is the thing that everyone migrates to now, because Instagram, because it's been bought by Facebook, has so much functionality that you can use it for a lot of things. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that would be the best place for your unique, like, super fan, right? Like if you're a writer, so what you do is more literary, maybe Twitter would be a better place for you than Instagram, right? If everything that you do is video, you have to be on YouTube. You know what I mean? So you should also think about it in terms of what your business actually is. Hashtags on any of these platforms is just metadata. And that data is used to help people get back to you. So that series of hashtags that you use, you should have broad ones to help bring people into the funnel, and you should have very specific ones that really can only be related to you. So that if people see that entire funnel, they can follow that funnel all the way back down to you, even if they didn't know they were looking for you.
I know something that's worked for us is really trying to get in the mind of my customer and thinking about what are they searching for when they're going on social media, what are they using Instagram for and Facebook, and how does that relate to my brand. And so I'm kind of, doing this very slow. I'm like you, I'm like data information. I need to know why this works before I can really commit to doing it effectively. And so whether I'm hashtagging or even like deciding what to post, because my brand is visual, it's art. I take a lot of pictures in my studio of all the stuff that I'm doing, but some of those things may not be great posts. And so I'm always thinking about what do they want to see, how do they want that delivered, and trying to tailor my social media interaction with them based on that. And that's been helping a lot.
And it's like literally all about engagement. Like it really is. How can we get all the way down to all the businesses? How do we engage with our clients to bring them in a little bit closer to get more information? And how can they engage with us? In those type of ways. Events like, what's this hashtag today, Chip?
Take one up real quick.
Yeah, but event-based, that's a very important question that I would ask a lot of my clients. Like, what's your hashtag going to be? Because you know what, we're going to put it on a projector. So everyone that takes a photo during that night, or everyone that poses, we can pull it up automatically, and then we have apps that actually can put it back up on the projector, and you can see it live. So it's like, it's engagement. Remember, that's why Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff is there. Is the likes and all of that stuff. It's again, it's releasing that dopamine. When we hear the ching in the account, it's the dopamine effect again. So that's something that we're affected by. But it's really.
And if I could just ask something real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's like a laugh over here.
That's good.
Okay. But the other thing that I really want to say is utilizing Facebook and Instagram. First of all, those are the two biggest digital marketplaces existing right now, right? So if you have any type of business, and let's talk about product-based businesses real quick, right? Because I definitely urge anyone can start like an online store using Shopify, anything like that, right? The best way to get your product out there is to run Facebook ads, run Instagram ads, because they're very, very cheap and they hit a lot of people. Any type of business that you have, you're going to be tracking the analytics. Okay, if I pay for this ad, how many people is it going to reach? How many clicks is that going to generate? Right? So a lot of people have a skill of being able to set up photo shoots, being able to brand a product. If you can do that, you can start a Shopify, you can run Facebook, Instagram ads, and you can reach a ton of people. You know, so I think any type of business that you have, but especially product-based businesses, work very well if you can just go ahead and run Facebook and Instagram ads. That's what I want to add.
Yeah, and one thing that he said as far as it being cheap, I recently saw one of those Gary V like interviews when he was actually talking about those ads. Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah.
He was talking about like how cheap it is now. Now is the time for y'all to start running those ads. It's not always gonna be that cheap.
No, it's not.
Facts.
It's not always gonna be that cheap.
These companies are going to get rid of all that. You know, so now it's time to capitalize. If you call yourself an entrepreneur, if you're trying to make residual income or have any type of side hustle, now is the time to get
See
it.
us. You can still see us.
Sorry.
You can still see us.
So yeah, is any social media? We got more social media questions. Or does anybody else have any other questions?
I have two questions real quick. One is,
Thank you.
you guys can repeat it. One question is, each you have different business models, and the one that requires people to put time into their business. Can you talk about the commitment time? I know Panther Entertainment Group, I know the music project, I know the work that you do already. Can you talk about the commitment that you require from your artists and Ashley, I don't know if you've started to do that with some of the people you work with, but can you talk about the commitment that you require and what's the pushback that you're getting from the people? That's the question.
First, I'm gonna repeat the question so that he can hear you. Did you get that question?
Probably.
You know, I didn't hear that.
All right. So the question was, based off of our business models, what do we do in terms of the commitments that we're asking for people that we're working with?
Pushback that you get back.
The pushback that you get from asking people to commit to putting in the hours necessary to get the work done. Okay. Anybody want to go first?
I'll real quick. The name of my company is United Artists Movement. So I generally say when we bring artists in, or we sign creatives to any degree, or we take on any venues that want us to consult or curate or staff or train, that you have to be part of the process. Because if I come in and implement a system, it's my system. It has nothing to do with you. It's important for people to be product or service-based businesses. It's important. Just specifically speaking, we worked together in the past, and it was like, I need my information. I'm used to that environment. Not used to because of me, but it works well. So we get the information that we need to because we have other things and other people that we're responsible for. Right? It speeds things along. The fact that my phone's been going off crazy, people calling, I actually forgot to turn it off because I don't like people having so much clear access to me. But in business, that's what I need. I need it light and fast. So generally speaking, whether it's an artist that's signed or that's singing or they're painting or whatever it might be, they have to be moving.
I got a question because me and my friend are trying to do music journalism in addition to some other stuff. And I was running into just doing a thought experiment, and he raised the question: would it be more important that you track things like in like quantity and then streamline to I guess whatever it is that you're doing, or is it feasible to do both at the same time?
Both at the same time if your system's set up for it. You know, that's what I was sort of getting to. You know, the personal commitment, entrepreneurial or something specific, is desire driven. Like it's tapped somewhere that like I can't really explain. You know what I mean? Like great white sharks are afraid of orcas. And orca, you know what I mean? Like there's a line of succession, and I'm somewhere like over here. Like it's just I'm wired for that. So I always say like no one will outwork me, no one will no, but I get tired, I get angry, like personal life suffers, like all of that stuff, it all comes down like what we say sacrifice, but you know, like water and food and those type of things. You can't do your job, you can't do what you do if you don't have those things. But so I seek for people that have a little bit of desire, but I also can mold because I know the system works. You know, it's worked in many cities, it's worked in many areas, so I know that the model itself, I spent time on that. But that's just specific. So you will have a little glitch, a neo, so to speak, in the matrix where it just won't connect, it just won't happen. So you just let him go and do his own thing, or her let them do their own thing. And a lot of times it works because they're also the same way, they just can't, you know. So for me, it's very important for your commitment. Like being on time is, oh my God. Like just being on time, well, being earlier, it matters. You know, when it's raining on all of us. That's how I feel. Like it's not raining. It might be raining in Marietta and not downtown, but like it's raining on all of us. There's always traffic in Atlanta. Like those aren't excuses for things. Fridays, don't schedule anything after 5 o'clock that you know you have to be to. Like put in fail safes, those type of things.
Right.
Like so for me, the commitment is very heavy and very demanding when it comes to who I work with and what they're capable of shouldering, because I'm capable of doing it, so I want to evenly yoked, you know, low capacity, so to speak. Capacity and volume, that whole conversation, we'll get into that.
From my perspective, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And when my program is designed to really kind of help people who would otherwise have no way of getting used to time commitments to kind of get used to them. So for me, when trying to put together teams of people to get certain stuff done, the first thing, if all of you are entrepreneurs in this room, just assuming that all of you are, the first thing that I want all of you to understand is that my approach is always a pessimistic approach. I always say that there's no one who's going to care about your project, your business as much as you. Okay? That's the bad news. The good news is that people often have a way of pleasantly surprising you sometimes. Sometimes. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, plan your life out and plan your campaigns out in a way that you can get what you need to get, even if people put in a quarter of the time that they should be putting in. I don't really know if that makes sense, but plan for the worst, hope for the best, right? This is your business. For me personally, my entire business model is built off of seeing what students would do if they were given the resources to run their own businesses. I know for a fact that they're like 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna do everything that they could be doing. That's literally what I'm here to pick apart and find out. So for me, the question has always been, well, what type of things can I do to help increase their productivity, to help increase their motivation? They say, I think it was it's an Eisenhower quote, the art of leadership is getting somebody to do something because they want to do it. That's what, as business owners, that's ultimately what you're doing. As a CEO, it's not your job to do every single thing, it's more so your job to figure out how to get everybody to do what it is that they're supposed to be doing. Not to You know, not to beat them over the head, not to yell at them, not to berate them, not to make them feel any lesser than human beings, because we all are human beings, but to understand that they don't care as much as you care. So you got to figure out how to make them care, how to make those motivations intrinsic so that they want to do that thing that you want them to do. And in all honesty, if you can get that done with your employees or your partners, most of the time it trickles down to your clients. Most of the time it'll trickle down to your clients. Your clients will also do that thing that you want them to do, like buy this, go here, be there, retweet this, you know? But it starts with you figuring out how you're going to create that particular community or that particular set of situations that make it okay, that make it that push them to do it when otherwise they probably wouldn't.
So my business is fairly young, and I'm just now blessed with the opportunity to employ people, get other artists working, and so I take the approach of the artists that I work with, they apprentice with me for a certain amount of time, and that gives me time to see what their level of commitment is, what it is they want to do, how their work ethic. A lot of my business, my clients connect with me. It's a lot of personality and just how I work, my business model. And so I'm very particular with who I bring in there to do that work with me. They're representing my brand, and this is my baby, and I don't play about that. So I apprentice them for 3 to 6 months to get a feel for who they are, how they work, and how they do things. And if they show me that they can take on more, then I send them on jobs by themselves. And I think it's the psychologist in me, and I want to understand people's, their emotional state and where they are, what they want to do with their lives, what kind of stability they have, and just really take an approach of molding them and filling them out while we're working together. And if they can handle it, then I give them more.
I would say be passionate about what you're doing. Everyone, I think the nature of our organization, the Atlanta Music Project, is that all of the teaching artists that we employ, we have about 50 teachers on staff. All of the full-time staff, including me, there's 10 of us. We're all really passionate about what we do. So I would say surround yourself with people that are passionate about what you do. Make sure you understand what the mission is. And if you're passionate about that mission, the commitment is going to fall in line. Like, I firmly, and I'm not just saying this because we're on streaming or whatever, I feel like I have the greatest job on earth, honestly, because I believe in the mission so much. It's part of me. So, yeah, I work probably more than 60 hours a week, but it doesn't feel like it. I get up every day happy about going to work, excited, because I know at the end of the day, I'm doing something that I really believe is working in the lives of these young people that I'm working for. Really, I'm serving the purpose for them so that they can get this training, this opportunity to do other things, other great things, grow up and be great human beings. That's really what it's all about. So whatever it is that you're passionate about, do that. The commitment will fall in line. And that's I'll speak for. Since I've been with the organization, we've only let go one teaching artist. And I'm talking about these are people that are in the Atlanta Symphony or in other orchestras, and I mean these are world-class musicians who come to Southwest Atlanta and work with these little kids. We don't pay them what they should be paid. We pay them. And I think they make great money doing what we, pay them to do. But they could be making more money doing other things. They take the time out of their day to come and serve these kids. So in terms of commitment, they're there. They're always on time. We don't have to worry about them. If they have to miss something, they'll let us know, hey, I'm going to miss this weekend. We'll have a substitute come in and fill their position for that day. But we're surrounded by really committed people because they believe in what we're doing. And that's what I would say. Just make sure you're passionate about what you're doing. There's a question in the back.
Okay, as it, I guess, relates to like motivating people, or motivating, I guess, your team or whatever to like pursue like business endeavors, how flexible do you feel like a leader should be in terms of like, in terms of using different tactics to motivate different people instead of like going, I lean this way. Like some people you might, yell at some people, they get some stuff done, but you might yell at someone else and they might not be as receptive as the other person would be. And you might, I guess, to the detriment of your team, belittle the person when they don't really respond receptively.
May I?
Repeat the question so he can hear it.
Oh, the question, Jesus, reword the question. The question was, how do you handle motivating your team when different people respond to different things? Like, in order to get stuff done, like some people may respond to beratement well, and then others don't. Was that about it? More or less? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not good at paraphrasing. Okay. As a leader, since that was your question, as a leader, and I just coming to learn this, be goal-centric. That's my best advice. If you're goal-centric, you can allow yourself to be a little bit more flexible with regards to how people do get what they get done what it is that they're supposed to do. And so you can try to avoid being like a micromanager. However, if you're gonna be goal-centric, like demand those results. You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm very binary. Either you did it or you didn't. You know what I mean? Like if you get too much into the weeds on how you did it and all that other stuff, then it's not really getting done. The way I always work is I manage relationships, not necessarily people. So as long as you're getting done what it is that we need to get done so that we can move forward, we can continue to work together. Anybody that's not doing that, I'm personally cut them off and don't look back. I mean, we're fine, but you're not fulfilling your commitments. That's just how I operate. But that's my business. You know what I mean? That's what's required when everything is based off of like merit and track record. You know.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
All right.
Go ahead.
I would say whenever I'm working with a team, one of the biggest things for me to look for in any individual is their character. Before anything, before they give me their accolades or what they've done, what type of person are they? Because at the end of the day, on top of being goal-centered, like I also like to know like where people's hearts are at. Like why are you doing what you're doing? You know, why are you in this industry? What are your goals? I always ask them, what are some of your financial goals? You know, I know the background I come from. I'm coming from the perspective of, okay, I'm pretty much supposed to be the sole provider for my family. You know, I come from a big African family. So any action that I take moving forward, I know, okay, like I need to be able to provide. Like I need to be able to be in a place where I can take care of everyone that means something to me, right? So before I can bring someone off the team, these are the type of things I'm asking them, you know? Like, are we on the same page? But if they're not, part of being in a role of leadership is you have to release people. You know, when I first started Young Black and Educated, my team was 9 people, and I actually released all 8 people other than me. You know, because when I first started it, people were trying to treat it like it was some sort of campus organization. You know, people had their jobs on the side, so they weren't putting the same effort I was putting into it. You know, I had dropped out of college, so this is everything I had. You know, so I had to go super forward, but I had a team of people who were, oh, okay, let's just do this. no, that's not the vision, guys. Like, y'all gotta go, you know? So sometimes you have to people just cut your losses and just know one film just isn't a good fit. But you can alleviate all of that by making sure you have a good understanding of the person's character before you bring them part of the team.
I know one thing that's worked for me too is really, as a leader, establishing the culture and making sure that people working with you understand, not just hear you say it or read it somewhere, but that they're living and breathing that culture that you're trying to establish within that team, and also being willing to develop people as well. Because I can't expect everybody to work the way that I do, to communicate the way that I do, handle conflict the way that I do, but I can give you the opportunity to learn how, you know, based on what I think works. And then if after all of that it doesn't work, then yeah, we may not work well together. This may not be the best place for you, but creating those opportunities have helped me for a person who responds to something one way versus someone another way. If we are all united on what the culture is here and how we do things, that's worked. But I'm still learning, you know, new ways, and learning from my team, you know, how can we constantly improve on how we're working together, instead of assuming I know everything.
I'll say a big part for me, and I'll speak from both angles, being a director and then also reporting to our executive director. The big thing for me is integrity. Our executive director, the reason why I feel like I've just taken a complete dive into the organization is because I feel like we have a very strong leader. Our executive director's integrity, every day I watch him. He works harder than anybody in the organization. He started, he's the founder, you know, and he continues to lead by example. And it's not one thing that he asked me to do that he wouldn't do himself. He's always true. There's always a reason behind it. You never have to worry about him saying, okay, I'm taking $10,000 out of this stash to use for my personal gain, and somebody else doesn't get the full benefit of what that money, that resource is there for. If you understand that a person has integrity, you know, a lot of people, you'll hear the old adage or something, you'll run through a brick wall for them or something. But if you feel like the person is really solid, then you'll be, I think, the more likelihood for you to follow that person is just a lot stronger. And so for me, I have a couple people that report to me. It's the same thing. You know, I lead by example. I don't ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do. And I think that they see that, you can tell that, they give you the buy-in, and they're willing to go the extra mile to make sure that a job gets done. So in terms of being a leader, in terms of managing, I think that's the approach I take, is just to make sure that whatever the job is, I'm not asking somebody to do something crazy. I would do it myself, you know, so, and be the first one to do it. I'm the director of marketing and operations, so that means that anything that we have in a facility, let's say we do a concert right here at Georgia State. We already know we're going to need music stands, microphones, we're going to need a stool for the bass player. You know, all of these things have to get there, and that's my job, is to make sure it gets there. So you'll see me in the back of a U-Haul truck, throwing in cymbals, doing all that stuff. I mean, it's just, you have to get in and get dirty, and don't be scared of doing the work yourself. And I think people follow that. When they see that you're willing to do the job, they'll fall right in line.
I think specifically to your question, I think entrepreneurs and leaders, we learn just as much as you do through one another, right? So I might be presented something today that, you know, I've never been presented with, and using each person's, you know, most important thing to them, I have to deal with it compassionately by basing things on their character, you know, and what type of leader am I? Just like you said, I'm not going to ask anyone to do something that, one, is going to, you know, put them in danger, but I have to also be flexible with the results. Like you said, you know, we're goal-oriented, so we just want it done. That's where I come from. You know, I just want it done. not just want it done, but okay, if we struggle with just getting it done, what can we learn around it? You know, what can I help you with? How can I facilitate that? But understanding that I still am in my role for a reason, and if I can learn through you somewhere, maybe it can affect something down the line, because I'm also about efficiency as well. So, you know, I think again, the most important thing is that we're learning all the time. You know, through our employees, through our relationships, you have to constantly, you know, success and adaptation sort of go hand in hand. We have to be able to be, you know, adaptable to a lot of the other things, and the types of employees that we hire or that are available, or, you know, just what it is that we're looking for. So, you know, that means a lot.
I got one question for everybody here. Mata, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I've been pushing Mata to do another Black Millennial conference coming up. Look at that face, look at that face, look at that. But Mata says, well, I need a lot of help. I don't know, would anyone in here would want to help him put another Black Millennial conference together for November this year? How many hands I got? 4 hands. All right, we'll talk offline, but I need to make sure, man. We got a lot of hands here, and then, you know, we got the support of Georgia State and Launch as well as members here to put something on. So I want you to know that we have the space taken care of and all that other stuff, all right? Compared to last time and all that other stuff. All right, so I just want to let you know that. Put it in the back head. So everybody here, if people want to volunteer with you or get involved with you, what is one thing that you're looking for people to get involved with you? But what collaboratives can you start thinking about? You 4 right here. Have you guys all met each other before?
No, I haven't met him.
Because I think you two, you two, I know you two, but I think you two should do a lot of stuff together.
Your program.
So what, if people were here wanting to volunteer with you, what would you suggest them to do? But also, how would you guys start collaborating with you guys? Who wants to go first?
My thing is, you mean how to get in contact with us, Georgia?
Yeah, we'll contact, like, if I need help on this, a volunteer,
It's
come in the shadow.
It's always admin for me. Like, I literally, if I can have someone just follow me around and type everything I say, like, it literally is admin.
That'd be awesome.
Like, that is it. I burn through notebooks. I burn through notebooks. Me speaking specifically, I literally, I believe that there is no original idea in all the time that's been here. There's original effort, and so we have to apply the effort to whatever it is that we think of, right? So I have hundreds of notebooks filled with effort and how to get things done, right? But my biggest thing is the admin side. I can type very well in my sleep, not in my sleep, but just with my eyes closed, type very well. But a lot of times things come and it's like, oh God, we gotta get this done. We gotta do this. We gotta do, you know, that's really my thing. Aside from that is as you said earlier, is the passion. That's something that I'm a passionate person in everything that I do, like the way I eat, just everything. I'm just passionate. You know, in sports, I'm just a passionate person. But like just finding someone that's genuinely passionate about, you know, not that like, oh my God, I can't believe, not that person, but just like, I don't want to like pick them, but I'm just like, you just passionate, like true, honest passion about, like, you don't care that I was awake till 4 in the morning. I still was up at 6:30, 7 o'clock. You know what I mean? But I was working during that time. So I'm not telling you to drive yourself crazy, but just like finding, when I walk into it, it's about energy, about me. Like me, I pick up people's energy. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Like you're in the restaurant doing stuff, I'm like, nah, I'm not eating here. You know, like it's just, there's different things. Energy speaks volumes to me. And so if it just doesn't feel right, I don't do it. So people that have good, work on your energy, work on yourself. Like that's very important because a lot of the things that we do, we touch, music, food, art, people, like, and we all have this vibe, right? We all have this energy. People are like, yo, this vibe is dope. Oh, I love this spot. The vibe is awesome. But it requires people's energy for that. And like your energy might just be completely off. Like, and no one's gonna, you're gonna figure, like you'll figure it out slowly but surely, but no one really wants to mess with you, like at all, on a professional level, relationship level. Like that speaks volumes. You walk into a room and people sort of close up, your energy's off. Go back and get in alignment. It's very important. If you don't know what that is, we got classes about that as well. We attack everything from the metaphysical level because it's about personal health, healing. All of this sound and all this stuff that we do, all this noise, this cacophony, if you don't have silence within yourself, it's just never going to work. You'll go crazy out there.
As far as I guess trying to get in contact with me or getting involved with what it is that I do, technically I'm here kind of representing two different organizations, so it depends on which level you want to be on. I always recommend people start with PEG, which is a student organization here, and actually my head of A&R is here, Versus, who has been like the main person telling me that I also need to get an assistant. But if you're interested in being a part of the student organization, like tiptoeing into the water with what it is that I do, PEG is there for that, and you can definitely reach out to Versus and the rest of the PEG administration for that. If you're interested in the greater organization, the nonprofit organization that we started out of and on behalf of for PEG and onward, you can reach out to me. First name DEREK Jackson at nationalceg.org. Emails, best way. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at nationalceg. Shoot a message. We're always responsive.
So I have a new art studio opening in about 3 to 5 weeks in downtown East Point. And and so I am looking for a studio manager just to assist me with some admin stuff and just interacting with people in the community that are coming in and out, and assist me with my social media management, because while I am learning about it, I don't enjoy doing it. And I definitely believe in people doing what they love doing, and I don't love it at all. So, yes.
Assist or hire?
I'm sorry?
Assist or hire?
I'm hiring. And so to get in contact with me, my email address is Ashley, ASHLEY, at artsybella.com, and that's spelled ARTZYBELLA.com, or you can, contact me on social media. It's at artsybella. I think that's what I'm looking for. And I do a lot of events. I partner with a lot of bigger organizations that kind of use my company because we are creative in nature. We do a lot of just interactive, kind of creative things. And so even if you're just wanting to get experience working with a young company that's starting to grow, you can always come, and I love bringing people on to help out with events. But I like to teach. I'm a developer. I like developing people. So you'll definitely get to learn and ask questions, and if I can connect you with people. I'm also a connector. I love, if you tell me, like, I'm really passionate about this is the space I want to be in. I have a personal passion, and like, if I know someone, I want to get you to them. I like trying to be that person that I needed when I was a student here and I didn't have the resources I wanted. So that's my contact information.
Like I mentioned, we do about 50 concerts a year, which is a lot. So it seems like almost weekly we're having a concert, but we always are looking for students to help out. And shout out to Georgia State, because we get students from Georgia State all the time that come and volunteer and just come to the concerts and maybe help with behind the camera, or sitting up in the sound booth or controlling the lights, doing little things like that. That it's like I said, it's 10 of us on staff, so we're wearing different hats. We're running around trying to make sure everything's working. So we rely heavily on volunteers. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Dr. China. She's a professor here at Georgia State in the, I think, marketing class or major. So she sends us a lot of students sometimes. But yeah, if you want to get in touch with me, it's Durand, D-U-R-A-N-D, at atlantamusicproject.org. Well, send me an email. I'll give you my number too, 404-668-1611. I'd love to, have some volunteers from Georgia State. We really appreciate the partnership that we have with you guys.
And my email, I can leave the contact information, is unitedartistmovement@gmail.com. Again, we're looking for brand ambassadors, we're looking for tour managers, we're looking for quite a bit. We're actually just retooled over the last couple weeks, so our services are first, and it's about packaging and doing what we do in the city of Atlanta, and I'm not from here, and traveling all over the United States and then going overseas next season. That's music, that's art, that's Art Beats and Lyrics, if you ever heard of it before. It's sort of like that platform, but it's going to be an entire package of, excellence. Not just black excellence, but excellence. Very adamant about that. So we need help, and we're hiring and looking for volunteers.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. Yes, you can reach me at my Instagram. That's at Mada, M-A-A-D-A. You can also reach me on LinkedIn. That's Mada Jawa Thomas, MAADAJAWATHOMAS on LinkedIn. I just started using my LinkedIn, so I'm kind of behind. But LinkedIn is a really great resource to get in contact with anyone. As for opportunities, reach out to me on Instagram. The only opportunity I have right now is introduction into the foreign exchange market. So if anyone's interested in picking up some like a side hustle or just an extra source of income, I host free classes every day. I host a basic class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And also after the basic class, I also host an advanced technical analysis class, so I'll be able to teach you really how to trade as a professional. So if anyone's interested in picking up day trading as something to just do on the side, reach out on Instagram. I host classes every day, so yeah, you get started there.
It's not a question. My name is Neil Baptiste. My question was, as it relates to dealing with the team, what's the best way to really utilize everybody's strength and also help them become self-aware of their, I wouldn't say weaknesses, but growing edges, per se?
Models, like YouTube is a resource for pretty much everything. Like you can use it. Vimeo, you use what's there. Like I like to say, I like to use one thing that does 5 or does 10 for me. So like, it's no different than building a team as a coach is, right? So basketball, football, soccer, field hockey, whatever. The more people that you have that can do multiple things, you're a little bit better. But it's like, again, we're learning. I think everyone said that. Like, for me, you walking into the room, the first thing that I'm interviewing is your energy. That's the first thing I'm interviewing. And then I don't really know your skill sets because, to be honest with you, your resume is just a bullet pointed list of things you think I want to read about you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's basically what it is. That when we create our own resume, that's what it is, cover letter. So I don't know any of that stuff until I see you in action or on the field. And so a lot of times I'll go to YouTube to explain something. Sometimes, there's a lot of instances of it in some sort of video or some sort of documentary or some sort of thing that I can be like, well, you ever see so-and-so? This is how I see it. But it's a visual thing. But a lot of times that depends on our individual skill sets. I can train you up to get you to do something, but if you don't have the passion to do it, again, I don't know that until we've invested time. Unless it's something specific, then, okay, I can make a decision on it faster.
What's your business? What's your business?
Oh, I'm on wholesale retail online store right now.
Okay.
I'm looking to do web development and social media marketing as well.
Okay. What I was gonna suggest is I kind of take a playbook out of like the MVP model. Are you familiar with that? like minimum viable product. It's the idea, especially with regards to building a team. Like he used sports analogies, so I'll continue with that. Do a scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? Do something small that allows everybody to get involved, but it's internal. You know what I'm saying? That way you can actually test out the things that people say that they can do, and you know, and make it something that's it's not grandiose in scale, just something so you can actually have something to be like, guys, you see, like, you did really well at this, you did really well at this, and then look at the product we got, right? And then start to scale up from there. You know what I'm saying? Rather than going into anything major blind. I would never recommend that you do that. Thank you.
You have 2 more questions?
I do apprenticeships because it gives me a certain amount of window for us to get to know each other, see how we work together, see what you're actually good at. If the stuff on your resume is legit, and I don't make promises past that probationary period of what else you can do. We do those specific things, and then we revisit it after that's done to see what else I'm willing to let you take on, and to also see what you're now passionate about after having worked with me and seeing what I'm doing.
Feedback is huge. I would say doing reviews and listening, like you were saying, Derek, I think, Terrain, yeah, was saying, you know, we're constantly learning. I think as leaders, and for me, if I give a task to do to our operations associate, let's say, and he does the task, and that's it, I'll pay attention to that, and I just through observation, I watch and see how a person responds, and then we'll talk about it. We'll sit down and say, you know, hey, listen, let's come in and talk about what you're enjoying about the job, what you don't like, and, you know, about the different tasks. How do you feel about them? What did you like? So I think for me, it's always just trying to understand who you're dealing with and what their strengths and weaknesses are, and moving forward based on that. And trying to give feedback so that you can be constructive and let them know, okay, I saw this. Next time, try doing it this way. Try this approach, and then see what they do. See if they take good feedback, if they're willing to accept constructive criticism and learn from it and grow. Then you might have somebody that's willing to be a part of the team. That's a good fit for the team. Thank you.
1 more question, please.
Okay. So I apologize if I'm able to be here for the entirety to hear exactly like what your specific ventures are. But I wanted to know, how do you personally intend to scale, and who do you look to hire to help with that scalability for the next 2 to 3 years?
The question was, how do we look to scale, and who do we intend to hire?
Yes.
In order to scale over the next 2 to 3 years?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that that depends on the model. You know, some of us are, like, I can work from an airplane, you know, or I can work at a venue, or, you know, I think that's different. You know, she has to watch her space, and you know what I mean. So but relatively speaking, it really just depends on, like, how passionate you are with what you're doing, because you can be really good and keep just streamlining everything and just be really, really efficient, really, really great at this, and then, you know, you're like, well, if I want to grow a little bit more, is it going to take that same effort, or is it just like 1 or 2 people, you know, that are going to make that? I'm always learning that. I've removed more people and had more growth in a lot of things. You know what I mean? But then I've added 1 or 2 aspects to the left or the right, and it was like awesome. Like, oh my God, where was this before? But I don't think it's the difference between whether I have partners or whether I'm just an individually owned business. I think it's, again, for me and my model, it's really on the field and like what we're doing at that specific time. What trajectory 3 to 5 years from now? No, there's no way possible that, you know, this can be done at the level that I see it at just by, you know, 3 or 4 people. Absolutely not. but it's the right people. And then, like you said, we put them in situations, apprenticeships, that's, programs. It's, I think that's really, for me specifically, it really works. Just that it really depends on
So I actually like this question, because this question gives me a chance to do my pitch, so that you actually understand what my company is. So in a nutshell, what we're looking to do is build the NCAA of the music industry. Why are we looking to do that? Because we have a lot of students and people who want to go into the business of music but don't know the first thing about it. Take, for example, you do K through 12. Any of those students who may want to get into music and they've been in music all through K through 12, well, what are they going to do in college? You know what I'm saying? To really get that thing out there, right? So our model is basically us creating these chapter organizations like Panther Entertainment Group here at Georgia State, teaming those chapter organizations up with music professionals like this gentleman to my left, and then basically creating those competitions in between them so that you can foster innovation, friendly competition, and awareness of oneself and how you fit in the grand scheme of the industry. Our ultimate plan to scale is to basically just create more chapter organizations at colleges and universities throughout the country. Now, in the next 2 to 3 years, I don't expect that we'll be on all 3 coasts, but maybe. But definitely in the next 2 to 3 years, we plan to be throughout the state of Georgia. Yeah, that was quick. Caught it. As far as the people that we'll need for that, like I said, it's more so about people who have the experience. And there's a lot of us here in this city who have the experience in being able to do that, and getting the awareness out about it. Everything else is a little bit more detailed, and we don't really have time.
Thank you.
For me to scale, we're definitely exploring ways to just reach people, not just in Atlanta and the southeastern region, but across the United States and globally. And as we start working on those efforts, that's why I need people in my studio for the services, the stuff that my clients and customers are already working with me doing. The team that I have and that I'm expanding with is to continue that, while my development team, we start kind of just employing some different things to reach people globally, and that'll help us scale the way we want.
Well, for us, it's programs, the programs that we offer. I originally started out by saying that you don't have to audition to be a part of the Atlanta Music Project, in which you still don't. But we recently, this past semester, we started a program you have to audition. It's a program for the most talented and dedicated students in the Atlanta Music Project. You have to audition. So right now we're primarily in Southwest Atlanta. We understand that we serve a section of town primarily, but we want to expand and get larger. So it's the services that we offer, we intend to expand those programs and services, and then through partnerships. We have a really strong partnership with the city of Atlanta, and other partnerships with just like other musicians. If you look on, you can YouTube right now, T.I.'s Tiny Desk performance that he did, and you'll see our Atlanta Music Project students playing behind him. We just did something with Monica, the R&B singer. So having those key integral relationships will help kind of garner the attention that we're looking for and help us expand, and so that we can offer more programs so that we can reach kids that are in Marietta and all over Atlanta and then beyond.
Give it up for our entrepreneurs today.